Hi, my name is Saad and today I'll be discussing Module 5. So the first question is, what are the strengths of Rosen's network across the different stages of her career? Well, initially she had a death. Her fiance died, leaving her kind of stranded, and it was kind of then that she realized that she had a knack for building connection, and especially with people of high stature. Earlier in her career, when she was working at Teamaker, she spent a lot of time maximizing all her social interactions, building connections with higher ups and interorganizational figures. And alongside with that, she would attend conferences, anything that kind of exposed herself. Um, any informational that she could share with others as well as receive. She was like a sponge, but at the same time she would give back. And that was one of the reasons that she joined a high exposure industry to increase her own efforts. A secondary to that is not only creating a network but also maintaining it. So she developed a few principles behind that matter, and the first one is that you must have access to people, which is obviously accomplished over a period of time. Throughout her career, especially at Teamaker, when she got into Apple, she would always communicate with people of high importance, CEOs, always just making her presence known. Secondly is performance, which involves responsiveness and following through in what you say you're going to do. People are a lot more likely to engage with you and talk to you if they feel that you're a person of your word. And it's not only that person, it also goes by word of mouth, especially if you're in high corporation America. It goes off of word of mouth, who you know and what their reputation is. So Rosen was able to do that. She was able to leverage herself and make sure that whatever she said she would follow through, but at the same time consistency played a huge factor in that. And the fact that she can do it with such ease and such commitment, it shows other people that yes, this is someone that loves their job and loves what they do, and being able to deliver of whatever she promised or whatever the case may be, that she established a certain rapport for herself. The next rule was one that she established when she was at Apple. Pertains to maintaining confidentiality and neutrality when in relationships with competitors. Being at that stage in the IT world, of course, especially in Silicon Valley, you're definitely going to meet people who are competition to each other. Now, she never mentioned that trust was a rule, but most people, in order for most people to trust her and her intentions, you have to be able to establish that rapport. There has to be some level of trust for somebody to take your word or do a favor or do business with you. And the last one, which is kind of the most important one, is the principle of reciprocity. And that means that both parties must benefit from the favor. If you put yourself out there like you're just a giver, people are gonna use you like as a doormat. They're not gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, she's not an important person, just give her some benign task or whatever the case may be. But if you give and then you take, or if you give and then you take, then people are much more inclined to do business with you. I feel like if you put yourself out there as just a giver, you're kind of killing your own reputation and your own progress in your career. So she knew a lot of people, and a lot of people knew that she knew a lot of people. So during Apple's decline, which was during the 1990s, she was actually called upon to use her networking skills to rebuild her brand. And she kind of realized then that what she had was unique, and her networking allowed her to tailor her job to her likes and strengths. The strengths of her network included, infiltrating the IT sector and becoming a well-known person in the field. Through these connections, she was able to use the principle of reciprocity and benefit herself and others. So secondly, the question, discuss the extent to which these concepts apply to Rosen, how these concepts influence her power, influence, and networking access. So she focused on a giving aspect, but in the sense that in order to give something, you have to receive something, and vice versa. She was able to leverage the connections that she made, but needed to receive something in return for the services she provided. Like I said before, and especially in like upper level corporations, this goes without saying that you kind of have to be a shark. You can't just do favors for people without expecting anything in return. And I think another thing is that she also had a knack for manipulating situations to benefit herself. So she kind of came off. She has this aura about her as a friendly personality and someone who's like fun to be around, host the events, host the parties. Yeah, I know her, things of that nature. And so when dealing with other people, like, it was easier for her to, people are more inclined to let their guard down because they knew that she didn't come off as a threat. She successfully positioned herself as an independent director in charge of recruiting for key positions within the Apple company, and that was like an amazing move for her because she literally used her networking and continues to use her networking in order to, hey, I got these people over here, let me put them over here. Oh, you need somebody, I know that person over there. She's able to do that without much work because of how much she's already put into developing that network. All right, thank you.